Welcome to Millennium Daily News. This is Ifat Fatima with top stories. North Korea plan to hit Guam waters. Trump finances fair game in Russia investigation. Militants trapped in Raqqa center but Syrian Kurd commander sees long battle. Prime Minister seeks more German investment and neighbors Brazil top FIFA rankings. Those were the headlines, now the detail. A Texas bill that would restrict insurance coverage for abortions was approved by state's Republican-controlled House of Representatives, a move critics call cruel and damaging to women's health. The House measure would ban insurance coverage for abortions and require women who wanted coverage to purchase a supplemental plan for an abortion, the latest effort by the most populous Republican-controlled state to place restrictions on the procedure. If enacted, the bill would take effect on December 1 and make Texas the 11th state to restrict abortion coverage in private insurance plans written in the state. North Korea is working on a plan to fire 4 missiles into the Sea of Guam, which will be ready to present to leader Kim Jong-un by mid-August, reported state media KCNA. The plan, if implemented, would see 4 Hwasong-12 intermediate-range ballistic missiles fired into waters 30 to 40 kilometers off the coast of the U.S. territory in response to escalating rhetoric from President Donald Trump. Earlier this week, Trump vowed to meet any additional threats from Pyongyang with fire and fury, a statement backed by strong words from U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis. Washington has expelled 2 Cuban diplomats after U.S. Embassy staff in Havana suffered mysterious physical symptoms, the U.S. State Department said. It was not immediately clear what had happened, with spokeswoman Heather Nauert said there were no definitive answers about the source or cause. One government official quoted by Reuters said that some staff had suffered hearing loss. Cuba's foreign ministry said it was investigating the allegations. It called the expulsion of its staffs unjustified but said it was willing to cooperate with Washington to clarify what had happened. 70% of Americans believe the federal investigation into Russia's efforts to influence the 2016 presidential election in the U.S. should be able to look into President Donald Trump's finances, according to a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS. 60% of those polled view the probe as a serious matter that should be fully investigated, and a significant minority, 38%, view it as an effort to discredit Trump's presidency. By a roughly 2-to-1 margin, those polled disapprove of the way Trump is handling the Russia probe. 5 transgender people in the U.S. military have launched a legal bid to block a ban announced by President Donald Trump on Twitter last month. The anonymous plaintiffs from the Army, Air Force, and Coast Guard are suing Mr. Trump and several officials. They say thousands of transgender troops have declared themselves since the military said they could serve openly and now face uncertain futures. Mr. Trump said transgender people would disrupt the military. However, it is not yet clear whether formal steps to enforce the ban have yet been taken or how it will affect serving personnel. The majority of suicide bombers used by terror group Boko Haram to kill innocent victims are women and children, a U.S. study reveals. Researchers at the Combating Terrorism Center at West Point and Yale University analyzed the 434 suicide bombings carried out by Nigeria-based militants Boko Haram since 2011 and found that at least 244 of the 338 attacks in which the bomber's gender could be identified were carried out by women. The ISIS-affiliated insurgent group has sent 80 women to their deaths in 2017 alone. Boko Haram's use of women as bombers increased following the abduction of 276 female students aged between 16 and 18 from their school dormitories in April 2014. The Chibok girls' abduction prompted the global Bring Back Our Girls campaign. U.S.-backed forces now have Islamic State fighters surrounded in central Raqqa, a Syrian Kurdish commander said, but he predicted that driving the militants out could take up to 4 months. We have cleared about half of Old Raqqa and we are advancing on Old Axis, said Habul Gabor, the 25-year-old commander from the Kurdish YPG militia who is directing the assault on Islamic State's Syrian stronghold. Units of the Syrian Democratic Forces, an alliance dominated by the YPG, fully linked up in Raqqa's southern districts, encircling the militants in the city center, which includes the old city. Viewers, going for a short break, we will be right back with the headlines. Bangladesh government not happy with Supreme Court verdict. Waki's quarterly comparable sales top estimates. Zika virus in common mosquito.
ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট
একটি স্বপ্নের ঠিকানা, একটি সুন্দর আবাসস্থল। ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট আপনার স্বপ্নের বাস্তব রূপ দেয়।
নতুন ডুপ্লেক্স, অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট, কমার্শিয়াল বিল্ডিং নির্মাণের জন্য নির্ভরযোগ্য একটি প্রতিষ্ঠান।
ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট
অত্যাধুনিক ডিজাইন, সর্বশেষ প্রযুক্তির সমন্বয়ে আমাদের কর্মতৎপরতা কনক্রিট, সিমেন্ট আর ইস্পাতের মজবুত বন্ধনে
গড়ে উঠুক আপনার বাড়ি। রোদ বৃষ্টি সহ সকল বৈরিতার বিরুদ্ধে করি সঠিক ট্রিটমেন্ট।
আপনার শহরের প্রাইম লোকেশনে রয়েছে আমাদের অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট।
আপনার কষ্টার্জিত টাকা এবং আমাদের নির্ভেজাল শ্রমে নির্মিত হোক আপনার স্বপ্নের বাড়িটি। আপনার জীবন হোক সুন্দর এবং আনন্দময়।
আমাদের ঠিকানা ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট, 211 ইস্ট 43 স্ট্রিট, সুইট বি, 507, নিউ ইয়র্ক, NY 10017, ফোন 718893020।
ইমেল friendsdevelopment@optimum.net। নিশা ট্রেডিং একটি আন্তর্জাতিক মানের গার্মেন্টস প্রোডাক্ট আমদানি ও রপ্তানিকারক প্রতিষ্ঠান। ইউরোপ, এশিয়া ও আমেরিকা সহ বিশ্বের নানা স্থানে বাইং, মার্চেন্টাইজিং এবং ম্যানুফ্যাকচারিং করে থাকে। সর্বাধুনিক প্রযুক্তিতে তৈরি বিভিন্ন ডিজাইনের পোশাক বাজারজাতকরণ এবং বিপণন এই প্রতিষ্ঠানের লক্ষ্য। প্রতিষ্ঠানের বৈশিষ্ট্য: উন্নতমান নিশ্চিতকরণ, টেকসই পণ্যের নিশ্চয়তা, নির্ধারিত সময়ে পণ্য সরবরাহ, লেনদেনের স্বচ্ছতা ও বিশ্বস্ততা। যোগাযোগের ঠিকানা: USA কর্পোরেট অফিস, 1747 থার্ড স্ট্রিট সুইট 215, জ্যাকসন হাইট, নিউ ইয়র্ক, NY 11372। বাংলাদেশ কর্পোরেট অফিস, বাড়ি নং 145, সপ্তম তলা, রোড নম্বর 12, ব্লক জি, দক্ষিণ বনশ্রী, খিলগাঁও, ঢাকা 1219।
Welcome back to Millennium Daily News. Now, news on Bangladesh topic. Law Minister Anisul Haq said the government is scrutinizing the Supreme Court verdict that scrapped the 16th Amendment to the Constitution for its next course of action. As the government is not happy with the verdict, so we are currently scrutinizing the full verdict of the Supreme Court to reach a decision whether we will file any review petition or not, he said. Anisul was addressing a press conference at his ministry to voice his formal reaction to the Supreme Court verdict on the 16th Amendment to the Constitution. Although we have disagreement with the verdict, but I have respect for the verdict delivered by the Supreme Court, Haq said. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged the German entrepreneurs to invest more in Bangladesh, taking the advantage of the cheap labor and other facilities the country is currently providing. She made the call when member of the German parliament, Dr. Hans-Peter, met her at her office. Prime Minister's press secretary Ihsanul Karim briefed reporters after the meeting. The Prime Minister mentioned the economic cooperation and bilateral trade of the two countries, saying her government has been setting up some 100 economic zones across the country to woo more investment to spur the economic growth. The High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Harshvardhan Shringla, called on Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at Ganabhavan recently. In the meeting, the Indian envoy recalled the successful state visit of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to India in April 2017. He also briefed her on the implementation and followed up to a record numbers of MOUs and agreements concluded during the visit, says a press release. High Commissioner also appraised the Prime Minister about the high-level exchanges to continue the momentum in bilateral relations with the objective of mutually beneficial cooperation between both countries. Prime Minister expressed satisfaction on the progress in bilateral relations. 3 persons, including a woman, were killed in separate road accident in the cities Kaula, Mirpur and Uttara areas. 2 of the deceased are Habib, about 20 years old, a worker of a garments factory at Hemayatpur in Savar, and Habibur Rahman alias Habu, about 14 years old, a worker of a factory at Turag in Tungi, while the identity of the women, about 35 years old, could not be known immediately. In the first incident, a truck crushed Habib under wheels around 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday while he was crossing the road in front of Shah Ali Shrine at Mirpur, police said. Commerce Minister Tufail Ahmed said the government has imported onion on priority basis from Egypt to keep its supply stable in the domestic market ahead of Eid-ul-Adha. He said necessary directives have been given to Chittagong Port Authority for quick delivery. Onion price has gone up too due to flood. We have imported onion from Egypt as an alternative means, said the Commerce Minister, acknowledging an increased price on imported onion. The Commerce Minister said the supply and stocks of essentials including onions, salt, ginger and garlic is normal in the domestic market. Bangladesh has at least 1.15 crore sacrificial animals for the upcoming Eid-ul-Adha, one of the largest religious festivals of Muslims, according to the Department of Livestock Services. Officials at the DLS said there has been a sharp rise in livestock production in recent years in the country, reducing dependence on neighboring countries for sacrificial animals during the Eid-ul-Adha. Now there are some 61,72,990 healthy sacrificial animals across the country, in addition to 53,85,000 which are old, unproductive, unprofitable but suitable for sacrifices, raising the total number to 1,15,57,990, the DLS officials told UNB. Viewers, now Millennium Business News. Department store operator Mackey's Incorporation joined rival Kohl's Corporation in reporting a smaller than expected decline in quarterly comparable sales. Sales at Mackey's stores open more than 12 months, including sales in departments licensed to third parties, fell 2.5%. However, this came in better than the 3% drop expected by analysts polled by research firm Consensus Metrics. Net income attributable to Mackey's shareholders rose $116 million or 38 cents per share in the second quarter ended July 29 from $11 million or 3 cents per share a year earlier. Cabbage Incorporation, a U.S. online lender for small businesses, said it had raised $250 million in equity funding from SoftBank Group Corporation, the latest fintech investment by the Japanese technology conglomerate. That is the largest equity investment in such lenders outside of China so far, according to data provider CB Insights. The Atlanta-based startup, which operates in North America and Europe, will use the cash to add lending products and other types of financial services, it said in a statement. U.S. retailer Walmart has apologized after a picture emerged of a gun cabinet in one of its stores beneath a sign reading, "Won this school year like a hero." The retailer tweeted the display was horrible and truly awful and said it would investigate how it came to be. The image has been widely shared on Reddit and Twitter, with many users questioning how it had happened. In recent years, the U.S. has seen a number of deadly school shootings. Charles Crowson, a spokesman Paul Wormwood told the BBC what's seen in this photograph would never be acceptable in our stores. She may be only 20, but Kylie Jenner may soon have a beauty business worth more than $1 billion. For the first time, the youngest Kardashian Jenner has revealed how much money her Kylie Cosmetics brand makes. In an interview with WWD, Kylie and her mom, Kris Jenner, revealed she's made $420 million in retail sales in 18 months. Her cosmetics brand has outsold established companies like Bobbi Brown and Lancome. It's the first time Kylie has discussed financial details about her business. Viewers, now Millennium Environment, Science and Technology News. Even light exposure to oil from disasters like the Deepwater Horizon oil spill makes flying more difficult for birds, a study has revealed. US biologists use homing pigeons to test the potential impacts of oil spills on birds' flight. Lightly oiled pigeons they found veered off course and took longer to return and longer to recover than birds with no oil on their feathers. It is the first time that the effects of low-level exposure to crude oil on long-distance bird flight patterns have been tested and suggests that even small amounts of oil could have serious impacts on migrating birds that are caught up in a spill. The common Culex mosquito is able to transmit the harmful Zika virus, Brazilian scientists have discovered, according to a study published, reports Xinhua. Scientists at the Oswaldo Cruz Foundation in the northeast state of Pernambuco have shown the virus can reach the insect's salivary gland, which is believed to indicate that Culex mosquitoes may be one of the vectors of the Zika virus, Agência Brazil said. Until now, it was believed that the virus was spread by the Aedes aegypti, a less common variety of mosquito that also carries the disease dengue and chikungunya. Social media giant Facebook has made a move into dedicated video, pitting it against YouTube and TV networks. Users will soon see a new watch tab that will offer a range of shows, some of which have been funded by the social network. Watch will be personalized so that users can discover new shows based on what their friends are watching. Viewers will also be able to see comments and connect with friends and dedicated groups for shows. Video has been available on Facebook for some time, but until now it has mostly been dominated by amateur clips or short segments from news organizations. Viewers, now Millennium Sports News. Captained by the Paris Saint-Germain striker Neymar, Brazil have knocked Germany off the top of the FIFA rankings released, while champions Germany dropped to second despite winning the Confederations Cup last month after some rolling historical results were devalued. Lionel Messi's Argentina are in third and modest Switzerland with a 100% record in World Cup qualifiers, are fourth, which is higher than they have been since 1994. Poland, who boast Bayern Munich's Robert Lewandowski amongst their ranks, are at a historic high of fifth, having dropped just 2 points in their own qualifiers as European champions. Portugal dropped 2 places to fifth. FC Barcelona will not provide Neymar's international transfer certificate to Paris Saint-Germain until the former French Football League champions pay the €222 million buyout fee. Barcelona officials are waiting for the club's bank to certify the availability of the funds, sources in the Spanish club said, reports EFE news agency. 4 representatives of the Brazilian player, including his lawyer, gave Barcelona a check for 222 million euros before Neymar joined PSG on August 3. The Mexico national football team captain Rafa Marquez has denied U.S. accusation that he has links with a drugs cartel. Mr. Marquez said he would cooperate with investigations and has made a voluntary declaration to Mexico's Attorney General. He was one of the 21 people and 42 organizations singled out by the U.S. Treasury Department for sanctions. They are all accused of ties to alleged drug trafficker Raul Flores Hernandez. The U.S. alleges that Mr. Marquez acted as a front person for Mr. Hernandez through his football school and several health and sports outlets. Before ending, the headlines are once again. North Korea plan to hit Guam waters. Trump finances fair game in Russia investigation. Militants trapped in Raqqa center but Syrian Kurd commander sees long battle. Prime Minister seeks more German investment and neighbors Brazil top FIFA rankings. This is all for now from Millennium Daily Newsroom. To get any kind of news, please log in to facebook.com/MillenniumTVUSA and youtube.com/MillenniumTVUSA. Besides, to get the most updated news, please visit to our website www.millenniumtv.net. Stay with Millennium. Allah Hafiz.